How much gold does it take to make a piece of jewelry? Surely you spend more gold to make a watch. Do you have any idea how much gold is used to coat a building? A temple clad in gold. A place where visitors can only see from afar. In this video, you'll get to know the Temple of the Golden Pavilion. Kinkaku-ji. Kinkaku-ji Temple is one of the most popular buildings in Japan, and has wonderful architecture that stands out in any season. It's on list of the top 100 places most sacred on earth. The temple is surrounded by a mirrored lake called Kyōko-chi. The site where the temple is located was used around the year 1220 for the rest of Saionji Kintsune. But the pavilion was only built in 1397 for the residence of the shogun Ashikaga Yoshimitsu, who had the desire to build a Zen temple on the site. During the Ōnin War, the temple was burned a few times. But it was in 1950 that the temple burned down because of a monk. The young monk Hayashi Yokin suffered from mental disorders and set fire to the temple and then tried to kill himself. The event was recounted in the book The Temple of the Golden Pavilion, a novel by Yukio Mishima, which was first published in 1956. The 1958 film and another from 1976 also depicted the tragedy. The temple structure we see today is the result of the restoration that took place in 1955. In the first restoration, 100,000 gold leaves were used, then 200,000 gold leaves, the equivalent of 20 kilograms of the precious metal. The interior of the building has also undergone restoration, including the paintings. And during the drone flight we will bring you more information about the inside of the temple. The roof was restored in 2003. The temple has 3 floors. The first floor is in the style of Heian palaces. It is the only floor that is not coated with gold. The second floor is in the style of samurai houses. And the third floor is the style of Zen temples. In 1994, the temple became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The place is so famous that it has had several versions in LEGO. Even in Minecraft game it was built. And there are more curiosities about this fabulous construction. And we're going to show you the footage that we did with the drone as well. And in Brazil we have a faithful replica of this temple that we are going to show you, in fact more than one replica. You will visit the Kinkaku-ji Brazil temple. It accepts visitation from any kind of people and beliefs. Despite being a perfect replica of the Japanese temple, this temple has a very different and curious purpose, which you will learn about in today's video. You will get to know the wonderful history of this place, and in addition to knowing the temple, I will tell you curiosities about this place. You will also know which national TV productions, music videos, and international TV series have already filmed here in this location. And for those who already know our work, we will take a tour with the drone, telling the history of this place to you. The site is surrounded by 190,000 square meters of Atlantic forest. Located within the National Tourist Park of Itapecerica da Serra, in the Valley of the Temples. Kyoto's Kinkaku-ji Temple is a Zen Buddhist temple, while Kinkaku-ji Brazil is an ecumenical temple as well as a cinerary. These buildings we are seeing are niches where families keep their relatives' ashes, which is the cinerary's purpose. Construction of the temple began in 1976 and was completed in 1978. Now take a good look at this stone here.
This stone that I want to show you is the foundation stone of this temple. So, when they started building this temple, underneath this stone, they placed a capsule. This capsule has a newspaper from that day, the currency of that day. And there's some scrolls in there as well.
So in the future, if anyone wants to dig this
Yes.
up, they're going to have a little bit of the history of the time it was founded.
Exactly. Down here.
Well, where this stone is right in the center, the beginning of this whole complex, and we are already halfway to get to the temple.
The descent to the temple is a real immersion in Japanese culture, with bridges, lakes, gardens, all in the Japanese style. If you are interested in visiting the temple, I will give you a hint of the best time to come here. This route that we are showing you is one of the accesses that you have to the temple. It's the most beautiful path, but without accessibility features. People with mobility restrictions can access the temple through another entrance at the lower part of this area. The descent itself, to the temple, already reveals the grandeur of this place. Every part built by man is kept in harmony with nature, just like in Kyoto. The niches where the ashes are kept, are in specific places along the route. The one who idealized this place was an American, a former war veteran who lived for 15 years in Japan, Alonzo Bain Shattuck.
And then what did you do in Brazil?
I built a Japanese Buddhist temple and sold space to the Japanese community, which is the largest Japanese community outside of Japan, to keep the ashes as cremated. We had a big park, copy of the famous Golden Pavilion from Kyoto. I duplicated it. Exactly. I duplicated it. Exactly. The outside, inside wasn't.
So the temple looked like the one there in Kyoto then?
Exactly.
Oh.
I had two Japanese, I call them artists, they were carpenters who, I built it in concrete and covered it in wood, and they covered it to look exactly like the original. Exactly like the original.
Here in this part is the ashes of a legend of Brazilian television, soap opera author and broadcaster, Cassiano Gabos Mendes. One of Cassiano's sons is Cassio Gabos Mendes, also a television actor. Here we have a statue of a mythological figure originally from China, the phoenix, which represents peace, luck, and longevity. This statue is also at the top of the temple, and soon we will show it to you as well. Here we are. This is the Kinkaku-ji Brazil temple. As I told you, it's an exact replica of the temple that has the same name there in Japan. I'm going to show you a little bit here what is allowed to show. There are some things that out of respect I won't show, such as inside where there is the cinerary, which I commented to you in the narration of the drone flight. The temple here has 3 floors. This one is the ground floor. I'm going to show you the second floor and the third floor. Each floor has a meaning of this temple here.
There are 3 types of architecture here. A type of architecture from the Heian period down here. An architecture from the time of the samurai in the middle. And up there it's Buddhist.
This is the second floor. Both the second and third floors have this golden paint as in Kyoto. Of course, this one isn't real gold, but the temple in Japan is overlaid with gold. And people can't even get in there. They can only visit, but from afar, they can't enter. See the stunning details. This temple here looks like it's made of wood, but the structure is all concrete. The floor here is ceramic. And it has the wood finish, it looks more beautiful. Some details are actually wooden, but the structure of it is in concrete. I'm going to show you now the third floor. And here we come to the highest floor of the temple. And it is on this floor that there is a board written in the same way as in Kyoto. I would like to know if you have visited the Kinkaku-ji temple in Brazil. Leave a comment down below.
This tree here in Japanese it is called icho. It is a tree that has medicinal characteristics. It is considered the tree of longevity because it survived the atomic bomb attack on Hiroshima.
Let's continue our tour with the drone, and show you the details that only in my channel you will be able to see. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, these images will make you subscribe right now. All the details and constructive measures have been faithfully replicated here in this construction. The mystical bird called the phoenix is also called the Ho-Oh. Others call it fenghuang. This mystical bird represents eternal life and power, and it is said that she prayed for the temple when the temple burned down. Now I'm going to tell you some more facts about what's inside the original temple in Kyoto. In the original Kyoto temple, right behind these doors, is where the ashes of Buddha are found. Let's go down to the second floor and I'm going to tell you what's on the second floor there in Kyoto. On the second floor, there is the statue of Kannon and her guardians, and Kannon, in Japanese mythology, is the goddess of mercy. And finally, on the first floor of the Kyoto temple, when opened, tourists have the opportunity to see images of Buddha and Ashikaga Yoshimitsu. Here in the temple of Itapasarika Dasera, there is an oratory and cinerary compartments. Just like Kyoto's Kinkaku-ji temple, there is also a pond here. This lake is teeming with koi. And if you've ever visited Japan's Kinkaku-ji temple, leave a comment. And at the beginning of our video, I told you that I was going to give you a hint of an excellent time for you to visit the Kinkaku-ji Brazil temple. Look at this corridor with these trees. They're cherry trees and they stay that way in the winter. I showed you a lot of information and beautiful images in this video, and you haven't signed up yet. And there are more things to show you. I'm going to show now the super productions that were also filmed here. But also with a wonderful sighting like this, who wouldn't want to film here, right? This other building here next to the Kinkaku-ji temple is also a Buddhist temple, which is why the area is known as the Valley of the Temples. Well, I'm going to show you now a music video that was recorded here. It was recorded on December 21, 2020. The clip, Modo Turbo, had the participation of 3 Brazilian artists: Luisa Sonza, Anitta, and Pablo Vittar. This photo here was taken right in this location. The artists didn't like the result of the production very much. Let's watch a little of it. Look at the temple in the background. A commercial for Boticario was also filmed here.
Chegaram as novas fragrâncias de Florata, inspiradas na tradição oriental da flor de cerejeira.
The film by Renato Aragão called the warrior and the ninja lily, had scenes shot here as well. Here is a classic scene showing the temple.
Mestre, o que o futuro guarda para mim?
Here we see the traditional Japanese front door. The film was released in 2008 and these scenes appear early in the movie. The soap opera Agua na Boca, from Band Television, also had scenes recorded here. And now there's going to be a scene of that path of the cherry trees that I went through with the drone and showed to you.
Ok, Eiko. Por que papai treina tanto com essa espada?
The first episode of this soap opera came out on December 12, 2008, and it had 155 chapters. And now a very well-known international series, called Black Mirror. There was also an episode recorded here.
Garo?
Tá pronto pra lutar?
Tô sim.
The Season 5 episode, Strike Vipers, had several scenes shot in Brazil. And some of these scenes were filmed here, using the Kinkaku-ji temple as a backdrop. And of course, there was a lot of computer graphics in between. And as I told you, here in Brazil there is not just one replica of the temple, there are two. The other one is in the Batel neighborhood, in Curitiba, in Japan Square. I hope you enjoyed the video, known a little more about the Brazilian Kinkaku-ji temple, in Itapecerica da Serra. If you liked it, subscribe to our channel, leave your thumbs up and see you in the next video, here on the Nosy Drone channel. There's always a puppy to brighten up our videos. If I were you, I'd watch these videos here too, which look amazing.